what's going on? You're watching ProgressivePulse.com. Steve Rodriguez here in Los Angeles with Quetzal or QVLN. Is that what you're going by now?
Yeah, just changing the whole overall image, switching it up a little bit, reinventing who I am and what I do.
I love it. I love reinvention. And you have a new album, which I want to talk about. But real quick, for some of our new viewers, tell me a little. You've been playing violin for years and started classically, yes?
Yeah, I'm a classically trained violinist. I started at the age of 4. I come from a musical family. I was born and raised in music. And I studied classical for until I was about a teenager, till about 16. And then I got really into jazz and Latin music and world music and started studying a lot of music from my roots. My mother's from Brazil, my father's from the Southwest. So I really started to develop my own identity through my music and songwriting and all that. But, I always have that base from the classical music that's given me that technique and that ability to be able to play a lot of different styles.
And you can hear a lot of that classic sound in his brand new CD called American Import. First of all, love the title, American Import. Where did that come from? It's kind of a play on some words there.
Yeah, I think it kind of defines who I am. My mother's an immigrant from Brazil. She came here. She married my father. And my father's a Native American. He's a 5th generation born and raised in Mesa, Arizona, which is where I'm from. And I have a long tradition of American history in my heritage, as well as South American history from my mother. So I think that my identity growing up and how I define myself as an artist really had a lot to do with exploring these different cultures and different countries and different places in the world. But being born in America, coming from a very American perspective. So I think that the title American Import really kind of defines who I am as a person in that sense, where it's like I'm very much American, but my where I pull from is imported from all over different places.
Cool. And I love the title track, American Import. It's a great track. But we have to talk about the first single, Burning Fire, Flesh and Bone. Wow, I saw the video. You definitely see a fusion of styles in there. Talk about the song and the video.
Yeah, we just released a live performance video. We shot it at this amazing gallery and cultural arts space called Tropico de Nopal in a Filipino town here in Los Angeles. And that's exactly what I wanted to do, was kind of bridge these cultures and these styles. The song itself, the rhythm, is a rhythm called forró, which is a traditional rhythm from northeastern Brazil, where my mother's from. Very popular style of music in Brazil. But it also has that folk, blues, and kind of New Orleans American roots music is also where the lyrics and the kind of stylization comes from. So it's really bridging those two gaps between a lot of these cultural traditional styles. And that's kind of the imagery that we went for in the video as well. It's kind of like a really cool folk party, campfire party where we're all playing acoustic instruments and we're singing everything live and people are dancing and singing. So I wanted to really explore like the realms of roots and folk in this new album and kind of and play with that and experiment with that and express it in only I can.
Were you just inspired differently this time from your, say, previous albums?
I think what changed the style and the direction for this new album was my process of songwriting. I also play guitar aside from playing violin. So my previous albums were really, I did all my songwriting around the guitar. You know what I mean? Coming from a traditional Brazilian guitar background, I play a lot of bossa nova, a lot of jazz. So a lot of my songwriting kind of stemmed from that. And this new album, I really started to explore, like, okay, how would the violin influence the way I write my song? Now, the thing about violin and the American perspective, it's really tied to folk music and country music, because that's really the only style of music that we see violin played in our country these days. But the violin has actually permeated so many different cultures throughout history. You want to talk about Asian music, you talk about traditional Mexican music like violin huasteca, mariachi music. Also forró, there's a style of violin called rabeca that's played in a traditional Brazilian music. Gypsy music, jazz, classical. So there's so many different genres that the violin has been able to permeate. And that's really what I wanted to explore with this new album. You know, the thing is, American ears are really adjusted to violin as associating it with folk or country, so automatically they associate it with that. But I don't. I kind of like I like to tend to pull away from that and try to show violin in a different light, as far as like played as in blues or like in fall or in rock, like a lot of the styles that I have here in on the album.
Touring, you just finished some shows here in LA, San Francisco, but we just learned that you're about to go to Burning Man. Talk about that.
Burning Man is next on the list. This is going to be my third year performing in Burning Man, and it's an amazing experience. I would recommend it to anybody and everyone. It's one of those one of a kind, unique experiences that you can only experience there. I mean, I've traveled all over the world. I've been to a lot of different countries. I've seen a lot of incredibly amazing things, but Burning Man is a very, very special social experiment. I call it a social experiment because it's literally you're taken out of every single element of society's boundaries, and you're put in the middle of the desert, and you get to see what life would be like without all the rules and regulations that we currently are surrounded by, and a lot of them that we are oblivious of.
The new album, American Import, you can get it on iTunes, CD Baby. Visit him at QVLN.com. And are you going to play something for us a
I
little
can
bit?
play something for you. Yeah, I can play something for you guys.
Awesome. Well, check him out. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you soon.